The atmosphere inside the SmackDown arena was already tense, but nobody, absolutely nobody, expected the storm that was about to hit backstage. For weeks, Drew McIntyre had walked around like an executioner with a grudge, striking whenever Cody Rhodes least expected it. He blindsided him during interviews, he assaulted him in parking lots, and the worst of all, he crashed the tour bus right into Cody, leaving him humiliated, shaken, and furious. Everyone thought Cody would explode immediately. But he didn't. Instead, he walked around with a silent rage building inside him, waiting for the perfect moment. Waiting for the exact second when Drew McIntyre finally let his guard down. And tonight, that moment arrived. Backstage, the camera cut to Drew McIntyre strolling through the dark corridors like he was the king of the entire company. Every step he took echoed off the concrete floor. He wasn't angry. He wasn't tense. He wasn't even cautious. He looked proud. Proud of the chaos he'd caused. Proud of the damage he'd done to Cody Rhodes, and proud that in his own twisted mind, he had broken the American Nightmare. Crew members whispered as he passed by. You could hear them clearly on the live audio. That's him. That's the guy who took out Cody. Just stay out of his way. Even security guards avoided eye contact. Drew adjusted his black jacket, smirked at the camera, and muttered, "Another week, another victim." The arrogance in his voice made the entire WWE universe instantly restless. But then, the lights above flickered. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. Drew paused mid-stride. Slowly, his shoulders tightened. The smirk faded. He scanned the shadows around him, the silence suddenly heavy like a weight on his chest. He sensed it. Something was wrong. And then, a voice broke through the silence. A voice that Drew instantly recognized. Drew. Drew spun around, but before he could even blink, Cody Rhodes stepped out of the shadows, eyes sharp, jaw clenched, wearing no smile and no hesitation. Cody looked like a man who had rehearsed this moment in his mind over and over again. A man who had finally decided tonight was the night everything changed. The crowd inside the arena erupted as soon as the camera cut to Cody's face. It was the look of pure, controlled fury. Cody didn't walk forward, he stalked forward, and Drew's voice cracked ever so slightly as he muttered, "Cody, what do you think you're doing?" Cody didn't answer. He just moved, so fast that Drew barely had time to react. Cody's fist connected with Drew's jaw so hard the impact echoed through the hallway like a gunshot. Drew's entire body jerked sideways and slammed into a metal production door. The attack had begun. The American Nightmare unleashed weeks of suppressed rage in the form of fists, elbows, and knee strikes, cornering Drew with a speed and ferocity that stunned even the staff watching from a distance. Drew tried to cover up, but Cody was a man possessed. A man fueled by betrayal. A man who had finally snapped. "Remember that bus?" Cody roared as he slammed Drew's head into a rolling cart. "Remember what you did to me?" Drew tried to throw a wild punch, but Cody ducked under it, lifted Drew by the waist, and drove him spine first onto a stack of metal crates. Drew gasped in pain, rolling off and collapsing onto the floor. For the first time in months, Drew McIntyre looked vulnerable. Cody stepped back, his chest rising and falling as he regained control of his breathing. He paced in a small circle, his rage simmering but not fading. The camera zoomed in as Cody clenched his fists so tight his knuckles turned white. Drew, trying to recover, crawled toward a table, but Cody grabbed him by the hair, yanked him up, and drilled him with a vicious uppercut. Drew stumbled backward, knocking over equipment and cables in the process. "You think you can just run me over?" Cody shouted. "You think I wouldn't come back for you?" Drew tried to speak, but Cody grabbed a water cooler and slammed it into Drew's ribs. Drew dropped to both knees, coughing, his body folding in pain. Cody got right in his face. "You messed with the wrong man." Drew suddenly lunged, trying a Glasgow kiss, but Cody dodged just enough for Drew's head to collide full force with a metal locker door. You could hear the metallic clang reverberate all the way down the hallway. Drew collapsed, blood now streaming down his forehead. The crowd inside the arena gasped as Cody stood over him, staring down with a coldness we rarely ever see from him. This wasn't the smiling, polite, determined Cody Rhodes. This was a version of Cody that had been pushed beyond the edge. Security and referees rushed in, shouting for Cody to step back, but they didn't dare touch him. Not with the look he had in his eyes. Cody finally raised his hands slightly, stepping back but never breaking eye contact with Drew. Drew, weak and slumped against the wall, could barely lift his head. Blood stained his face. His breaths were shallow. The confidence he walked in with had evaporated completely. Cody crouched down just enough so Drew could hear him. "You drew first blood," Cody whispered. "But tonight I evened the score." Drew tried to speak. He opened his mouth, but all that came out was a faint groan. Cody stood back up and continued. "And now you listen to me very carefully, Drew. The next time you see me, the next time you step inside a ring with me, I'm finishing this. For good." The camera zoomed in on Cody's expression, a look so serious, so intense, that even the security team froze. Cody continued walking backward, eyes locked directly on Drew, before finally turning and leaving the scene. The hallway was left in ruins. Broken crates, spilled bottles, dented steel, toppled tables, and Drew McIntyre lying in the center of it all, beaten and bloodied. Medical staff rushed in to check on him as SmackDown faded to black. Cody Rhodes hadn't just gotten revenge. He had sent a message. A message Drew McIntyre, and the entire WWE Universe, would never forget. Because tonight, the American Nightmare became the American Reckoning. And the war between Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre was only getting more dangerous from here.